and still protecting their community today. We thank you for sharing our message. We want you to be part of this, and we want to partner with you, but we absolutely have a mission, and our mission is to take care of the families of the fallen, the injured, and again, our firefighters that are still serving the community. With that, it saddens me to announce that Battalion Chief Frank Harwood, 42 years old, has been a member of our department for 17 years, passed away in the line of duty yesterday. Chief Harwood is married, has 2 children. He is also a former Army National Guard combat engineer, so he's a veteran as well. Chief Harwood was a leader in our organization. He did an amazing job. He was a shift commander. He was well respected by his shift. This loss is felt by so many, including all of the members of his shift that worked and saw the incident yesterday. So we're going to ask, and President Zabel is going to speak a little more directly about Chief Harwood, but we would ask that you would keep him in your thoughts and your prayers as we continue this important mission that we serve every day. That said, shortly after today's press conference, working with the International Association of Firefighters, we will have pictures of the fallen available in one graphic. It is important to note that we are operating as one incident. Although 2 departments, we are working hand in hand through this, and I could not appreciate that more. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Greif.
All right, I'm going to echo some things that Chief Way said, but yesterday was one of the most absolute darkest days that either one of these organizations has ever faced. As the community has already seen, this unimaginable act of violence took place at a wildland fire incident on Canfield Mountain. At this time, we're not able to discuss certain details as this remains an active investigation. So we'll do our best for the questions and answers following this press conference. Out of respect for our fallen brothers and their families, again, I'm going to ask that we limit comments to confirm facts at this time. This afternoon, we're here to share the names of our brothers that lost their lives and the one that's been critically injured yesterday. From the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department, Battalion Chief John Morrison sustained fatal gunshot wounds yesterday and died in the line of duty. John Morrison began his career with the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department back in 1996. He's the battalion chief of Blue Shift, and he's held the ranks of firefighter, engineer, captain, battalion chief, and he's also a longtime paramedic for our department. He has served the city of Coeur d'Alene in this community for over 28 and a half years. Also injured in yesterday's incident was Engineer Dave Tysdal, who sustained gunshot wounds as well, and he is currently in critical condition at Kootenai Health. Dave is surrounded by his family, and he's had 2 successful surgeries as of noon today. I do have a brief statement that Mrs. Tysdal wrote that I'd like to read. We thank everyone for their love and support. Dave is surrounded by his family, and he is able to open his eyes, and the 2 surgeries have gone well. Like I said, he is in ICU at Kootenai Health, and our focus and support is going to be with the Tysdal family at this point. As Chief Way stated, we would ask that the media please respect the privacy of the families and direct your inquiries to the fire departments if possible. Our focus today and in the coming days will be providing support to the Tysdal family as well as both families that lost loved ones yesterday. At the same time, both of our departments are going to be focusing and providing mental health resources for our personnel and families that are going to be greatly impacted by this tragic event for months and years to come. As Chris Way said, we're grateful to law enforcement partners for their swift response and their continued efforts for their investigation. And we would like to thank the numerous regional agencies that have provided resources and support over the past 24 hours. The community support has been nothing short of amazing, and all agencies involved We'll be needing every bit of that moving forward as we have a long road ahead of us. With that, I would like to turn the podium over to Union President Gabe Eckert with Local 710.
Yesterday was a terrible day. We as firefighters lost 2 brothers and saw 1 hospitalized with serious injuries. And this community lost 2 dedicated public servants. The outpourings of support from this community has been incredible, and the amount of food, cards, offers for help, everything is truly appreciated. For those who want to donate, you can donate with either the Red and Blue Foundation, the Jeff Welch Memorial Foundation, and there are also accounts set up for all 3 families and then the 3 families individually that can be accessed through any First Interstate Bank. These will all be linked to on our social medias in the following hours. In the meantime, we'd ask that you allow the families the peace that they deserve so that they can mourn their losses. These men were dedicated firefighters. They were dedicated to their community. Speaking to Tysdal, speaking to Morrison, these guys were hard workers. They loved their families. I just want to share a little story. 2 weeks ago, my last memory with John. I had the opportunity to work with him as he worked back on my shift as a battalion chief. We had kind of a rare moment with a lull at the station, and we went out onto the back patio and we smoked cigars and we talked with each other, and we talked about being better fathers, we talked about being better leaders, we talked about being better firefighters. And I just want to say I am so incredibly grateful that that gets to be my last memory with him. So if there's anything you guys take away from this, I want you to know these were dedicated men, and they were dedicated to this community. Thank you very much.
I'm Justin Zabel, President, Local 2856, Kootenai County Firefighters. This tragedy does not define our community. What's often overlooked in times like these is the overwhelming love and support we receive from the people we serve. It's that love for this community that inspired Brother Morrison and Brother Harwood to answer the call in service to their families, their Union brothers and sisters, and the place they called home. They made the ultimate sacrifice in that service. The men and women of Local 710 and Local 2856 will continue to answer that call because it's who we are. And it's how we honor the memory of our brothers who gave their lives doing the job they loved in service to others. Thank you.
As they both mentioned, there are donation opportunities that you can find on all of our social media pages. I want to remind people that this is, again, an incredibly fluid situation, changing on a minute's notice. The one thing I can announce is that we are doing a procession returning back to the city. As you know, we did a procession to the medical examiner's office yesterday. I just got told that we are leaving the medical examiner's office in Spokane at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we will be returning to English Funeral Chapel on 4th Street in Coeur d'Alene. We certainly invite the public to honor our firefighters and our heroes by standing on the bridges and the overpass and lining the roads. We would absolutely appreciate the support. Please again know that our firefighters and our staff and our chiefs and our commissioners and our elected officials truly appreciate and feel the love that our community is sending to us right now. With that, I'm going to ask Mayor Woody McEvers to come up and say a few words.
On behalf of myself, the City Council, the employees of the City of Coeur d'Alene, and all the members of our community, I want to begin by offering my deepest sympathy to the families of those tragically killed and injured yesterday in the line of duty. What they are going through is incredibly hard and heart-wrenching. And I want them to know that we're thinking of them. I also pledge that we'll stand with them in the coming days and weeks and months to offer all the respect and support and comfort and the love that they need. I want to thank all law enforcement, fire, and emergency personnel from many, many agencies throughout the region and the federal government who work so hard and heroically to deal with an event that was so unprecedented in our community. We still are in shock and are struggling to understand why someone would target unarmed, selfless public servants. Law enforcement is continuing to investigate what happened and why. But for now, let's focus on remembering those we lost and the families left behind. Firefighters have a special place in my heart. They do what they do out of love for the job and their community. It's a difficult and dangerous job, but the danger is encountered every day is not something they would ever thought they would have to face. Face it, they did, with courage and honor. I'm proud of them. I honor them. In closing, I'm so grateful to see how everyone has rallied around the families and colleagues of these firefighters. We live in a very special community of very special people. I know we'll never forget January 29th and the ultimate sacrifice made by our dear husbands, friends, and fathers. They will always shine brightly in our memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, we're going to open this up to some questions. We do have a couple of statements before we get started with the questions. So we can confirm, we just know that these are going to be two things that are absolutely things that we want to confirm or dispel. There was pre-incident contact with the suspect by our firefighters upon their arrival, but it was minimal contact, and there was certainly no criminal or suspected activity as a result of that. The other piece I want to dispel is that the families were notified via social media. That is absolutely false. Both families of the fallen firefighters as well as the injured firefighter were notified by department personnel and have indeed been have had a 24-hour watch with fire department personnel with the families ever since the incident took place. So having those questions come up earlier, we figured we would just take care of that now. So happy to answer a question.
Chief, you just sort of answered part of my question. I'm wondering if you have any more details about that minimal preliminary contact. And then if not, the sheriff has indicated that the gunman at least expressed an interest in the past of maybe being a firefighter at one point. So wondering if he ever came across either of your departments, introduced himself.
What I can, I think the pre-incident contact is still being investigated. That was something new to us today. Again, we're not going to get into what the sheriff or the state police are investigating from a criminal aspect. And I can tell you from the Kootenai County Fire and Rescue standpoint, we had never had contact with the suspect. He had never applied for a position here or tested for a position here.
We are looking into some facts surrounding that question, but I cannot verify any of it at this point.
Next question. Yes, ma'am. That's a great question. So tonight, we've tapped into the resources of both the International Association of Firefighters, the International Association of Fire Chiefs, and the International Fallen Firefighters Foundation. They're bringing in what they call their funeral response teams. We actually are meeting with them at 9:30 tonight when they're wheels down, and we will begin the planning process. But that involves the families, that involves all of the brothers and sisters. So obviously, as soon as we have a plan, that plan will be disseminated. We will have plenty of time. But obviously, that takes significant planning, and that will begin tonight at, like I said, about 9:30. Other questions?
Can we get spellings, please, of each of the firefighters? And also, we heard Miss Battalion Chief Harwood's age, but we did not get an age for Chief Morrison.
I can give you Frank, F-R-A-N-K, Harwood, H-A-R-W-O-O-D, again, rank of Battalion Chief, and he was 42 years old.
John Morrison, M-O-R-R-I-S-O-N, 52 years old. He's been with us for 28 and a half years. Dave Tysdal, T-Y-S-D-A-L. He is 47 years of age, and he has been with us for 23 years at the rank of engineer.
Again, later this evening, there will be graphics that are being produced right now with both of their pictures. You'll be able to find it on, I believe, both Coeur d'Alene Fire and Kootenai Fire's social media pages, as well as Local 710 and Local 2856's pages. Yes, sir.
I just had a quick question. Most of the firefighters that responded were urban wildland firefighters, or the city fire department, or the county?
All of the initial response was both a mix of the city and county fire in responding in a wildland urban interface setting.
Is there any update on the wildfire as it currently stands?
Yes, actually, we just got an update about 30 or 45 minutes ago. The fire is reasonably contained. They've stopped significant forward progress, but they're still working on it, and that all belongs under the jurisdiction of the Idaho Department of Lands now. And we want to also thank our partners, Northern Lakes Fire Protection District. They were instrumental in both the firefight as well as the removal of patients and transporting patients yesterday under obviously extreme and duress conditions. Other questions? Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering how this changes how you go forward and how you handle responding to fires any differently?
I think at this point, I think we're going to obviously do a deep dive into what happened. The incident is still unfolding. We're finding things out hour by hour at this point. There will be a time for us to reflect on the incident. There will be a time for us to be able to evaluate our policies and our procedures and whether or not, should we have had more people on the initial attack. It's really impossible to say at this time. What I can commit to you is obviously we will do a deep dive, and I think we will do that together. We're partner agencies. We respond together every day. On this unfortunately was another routine call until it wasn't. And so our focus right now is obviously the families of the fallen and the injured. Our fire department families in making sure we heal through this, and then we can begin the dissection of what happened. And some of that is going to be with our law enforcement partners once they get a much better picture of truly what unfolded and why it unfolded.
On the human side, it's natural. I think immediately after this happened, everybody's going to have a heightened self-awareness level now rolling out the door. There's nothing we're going to do about that. That's just a natural response to this. This wasn't a event that we trained for. We train every day for high-risk, low-frequency events that are dangerous in our profession, but we never imagined that we would be ambushed responding to a wildland incident at a command post. And so yeah, now that heightened awareness is just a natural response to this every time we go out the door.
I again would use that as an opportunity to thank our law enforcement partners, and I would just advise our community, you may see this over the next few days, our law enforcement partners have stepped up and guaranteed a response to every call we go on, whether it would be a typical call that law enforcement went on. I think that gives our brothers and sisters in law enforcement an ease that they're there on the front side. It certainly gives our firefighters an ease as we're responding, and we were glad that was an offer they made to us, both, Coeur d'Alene City Police Department, Kootenai County Sheriff's Department, Post Falls Police Department, and ISP have all stepped up and said, we will absolutely go to every call you go on. So again, as Chief Grife said, that certain peace of mind, I don't know that we're ever going to be able to guarantee people's peace of mind, at least for a while after an incident like this, but we are taking every measure we can to ensure safety of our responders. Other questions? Yes, sir.
The sheriff alluded in his press conference to the fact that there may still be evidence at the fire scene. Does that affect how you're fighting the fire?
We're working in coordination. I know. So I want to be clear again. We handed the fire off to IDL yesterday when they arrived, and obviously the other incident unfolded. So neither of our agencies is involved at this point. I know that the State Fire Marshal's office is working with the detectives to work through the scene and be able to put the fire out as well as process evidence as they come across it.
Chief mentioned you'd never be prepared for something like this, but in listening to the national broadcast today and talking to different experts, this is unheard of, it seems like. Have you ever heard of anything like this ever?
Yeah, there have been a couple of cases of this, but certainly it's, as Chief Grife said, it's low frequency, high acuity. It's, and again, I want to be clear, we've been asked this a lot today is, well, do you train for active shooters? And we absolutely do. We have equipment but this wasn't an active shooter call. The initial response was to a wildland urban interface brush fire on the side of a mountain. And so, again, we went in, we saw smoke showing. We went in like we do all the time and attacked the fire. And then, unfortunately, we got attacked. And as the sheriff said very well last night, the way they were attacked and ambushed, they never had a chance. Other questions? If not, we certainly appreciate everybody being here today. We appreciate, again, we want to thank our community for their amazing level of support. We want to thank our elected officials, so many of whom are here today, supporting us in this piece of things, but also just as they've been here since minute one yesterday. We feel like we have incredible support. I again want to thank our brothers and sisters at Coeur d'Alene Fire as well as the other agencies, but I feel like we're walking hand in hand with this together, and that's really important, and you as the community should know you're well protected and you're well taken care of. So thank you again for being here today. Appreciate it.